Hey, Sel, today I want to talk about how life throws us curveballs constantly, right? And what happens is it can very much disrupt our routines that we have, and impact our ability to lead those healthy, fit lives that we want to lead. And I know you've just had an experience where life has been impacted, right? You got parked
It
in.
did. I
Yeah.
did get parked in. I just went to the shopping centre, and because you and I were jumping on at 9:30, and I went to the shopping centre and I got parked in by three K9 units. So I'm madly ringing you.
Yeah.
I can't get out. You have to wait. So yeah, it was
Exactly,
interesting.
exactly.
But talking about that, our option was okay. Well, I can sit in my car and do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Whereas, I was like, oh no, I've got other things I can do. I can just sit here and wait. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. But I think what happens is we have this big all in or all out attitude. So
Yes.
it's like I have to go and do my 30-minute or my half-hour fitness session, or I've got to eat healthy all of the time. And so I don't have that level of flexibility in that plan that I have in place. And I think that's where this life happens plan is so, so important. Because what we want to do is we want to take what are the non-negotiables for me, and how am I going to scale them back to the simplest form I possibly can, so that when life does happen or throw me curveballs, I'm able to still do some of those basic fundamentals to maintain that fit, healthy life that
Yeah.
that I'm working towards. And I know for me, I have, certain things that I don't compromise on. So I thought I might talk about my life happens plan.
Yes.
So the first thing that I have is that strength training is important to me. So I do have those, let's call them the foundational moves to keeping myself moving and to keeping my muscles strong that I will focus on. So I have a fitness routine that can take 5 minutes. So on those days, I will use my heaviest weights that I've got, and I will do things like, squats and deadlifts, and I'll combine them with rows and bicep curls, or, the list goes on from there. So, do you have a life happens like fitness routine that you use? Do you want to
Yes.
tell us what it looks like?
Mine is the same as you. I go to
Okay.
those fundamental moves that we know are going to help us in the outside world. So we
Yeah.
know that those squats are so very important because how often do we squat during the day?
Yeah.
It's sitting on the couch, standing up, getting in and out of your car, sitting at the table for dinner, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, sitting at
Yes.
your desk, getting up. So yeah, squats are my go-to. Deadlifts are my go-to. Bicep curls the same as you. But I like to do the shoulder presses,
Oh, yes, they're in
taking
there
it
for me
up
as
above
well.
my head.
Mm.
Yeah. So,
Hmm.
you're reaching. Um, and the same thing, it's those 5 minute bursts of exercise. And it
Mm.
may be, if my routine is out, it may be that I don't do um all four exercises in that 5 minutes. I might do squats for 5 minutes,
Yeah. Yes.
and then I might do later on in the day, do the deadlifts, and later in the day, the shoulder presses.
Yes.
So I there are times where I break it up as well.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I'm thinking of a situation just recently when Paul was in hospital. And so I wasn't getting home till fairly late at night. So I would do that, whilst I was getting myself some dinner organized. So I
Yeah.
would just go and do that fitness routine at that point. So it was the thing that I did sort of like at the end of the day.
Mm.
And generally, as a rule, my workout is first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
But, I wanted to get to the hospital first thing in the morning because that's when the doctor was going to be there and all that type of stuff. So it was a matter of adjusting those non-negotiables to be flexible, which is what we're talking about. That is why
Yeah.
this life happens plan is so important. The other thing that's really important to me is to move as much as I possibly can throughout the day. And so one of the things that I will adopt is parking that little bit further away so that I'm getting more steps in. If, for example, I'm talking about the situation with Paul, when someone came to visit him, I would go for a walk and I would take the stairs in the hospital and, walk down the 5 flights of stairs. And so I'd get outside and get some sunshine because nature, sunshine, rain, it doesn't matter what it is, but nature in itself, just being able to see the sky just helps me feel that little bit calmer, and it is a non-negotiable for me. So just moving as much as I can. So if that meant standing or, taking the stairs as an example, those types of things are what I would throw in there. Do you have anything like that?
I'm the same with you as, as far as parking at shopping centres or wherever we may be going. And as you know, I have a grandson now. And I still don't use the parking bays with prams.
No.
I still park away from the entrance.
Yeah.
So I am walking, but I'm carrying him as well because he'll go in a shopping trolley now. So I'm carrying him as well. But yeah, that's non-negotiable. I will always park away.
Yes.
And I always take the stairs. Same thing. If there's an elevator there, even if there's an escalator, it's still the stairs for me.
Yeah. The other thing from a healthy eating perspective, protein is a priority for me because it is that building block for my muscles, and they are so important to my health and my longevity. So it will always be my priority. So if it means cooking up 3 or 4 pieces of fish or chicken or something like that, I will do that so that I've got it there. So, and it doesn't matter when it is, I will take the time to eat that. And sometimes, some nights there I would get home and that would be the only thing I would eat type of thing, because I just couldn't be bothered with the rest of it, but I did have that. But during the course of the day, though, I had that opportunity to be able to, have a salad or have some veggies. And so I would eat them at that point, but I would always make that protein the biggest priority for me. Do you have
Because
yeah, go on.
Well, as we know, protein is such a big priority. And I know, probably the last 2 months, I haven't been having a lot of protein. And so I have protein water on my shelf now that you can mix up yourself. And there's 25 grams in each bottle of protein water. So that's a really good thing to have on hand if you are out and about, because it's double bonus because you're getting your water but you're getting your protein.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm pleased that you mentioned that because water is, it's a non-negotiable for me. It's a non-negotiable for everybody. It should be anyway, because it's the one thing that our body needs, isn't it?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, water, when Paul first went into hospital, here I am walking through the hallways with, a 24 pack of water bottles and, taking it up and putting it up at the hospital bit so that I at least had some water there, because I'm not used to drinking town water.
Yeah.
We are on tank, and because we have limited water, we often, have bottled water at the house as well too. So, water is definitely priority. And with that, in saying that, with the protein water, you can throw it into a little Ziploc bag, and you can take it with you, and you can make it up on the go. I also do that with electrolytes as well. So I always have a sachet in my bag, because if I am feeling dehydrated, then I will actually, just throw that in my bottle of water as well too. So that always gives me that little bit of a pep in my step as well.
Yeah. Super greens is another one that, if your routine is out, it doesn't take much to make up a super greens drink.
No.
And taking that with you, or as you said, having the little baggie with your super greens in there.
Yeah.
You're serving a super greens, and then you can just take that, add that to water wherever you are.
Is there anything else on your non-negotiable list that you have that's part of your Life Happens plan?
My non-negotiables are probably, my main ones, the fitness and the healthy eating. But I think it's so very important to remember that if your routine does get out of whack, don't just say, oh well, that's it, I give up. If you can't, because we, as we train in the studio. If you can't get into the studio, the workouts are online. If you can't do them online, do your 5 minutes, 5-minute bursts that we were talking about. Same with your healthy eating. We've just given you examples then, but like you can have your little snacks. So your nuts, you can take your nuts, your fruit, have them in your handbag. I remember when Paul had his bad accident a few years ago, and you had to travel from Ipswich into Brisbane. And you always had nuts in your bag, or a piece of fruit or something, so I think that's so very important.
Interesting. If I go and pull out my bag now, you'll find I do have a Ziploc bag with nuts in it. It's there all the time. So it's much better to eat that than to rely on a petrol station, or a supermarket or a corner store or something or other, because you just never know what you're going to get. So, and
the
also
vending machines in the hospital as well.
Exactly. The vending machines were quite substantial. They're quite costly as well too. So it's not just your health that's impacted; it's your wallet that's impacted as well too. There was one other thing that I thought was important as well too, from my perspective. With my Life Happens plan, I will ask for help. So help is also on my list. So I know the people that I can ring and say, could you cook me up some, whatever it happens to be, and that they will do that for me. Or I know, the person that I can call to say, I need to vent, or I'm, feeling sad. Can you tell me something stupid today, please? That'd be you. And so I think, knowing those people that are going to support you. Don't be proud to ask for help, because I think everybody should have that on their plan.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think it's also important, because you're talking about that then, about, asking for help. I think it's so very important. If you have got your routine and you've got your non-negotiables, but life does throw you a curveball. It's okay that life throws you a curveball.
Yes.
This is literally what we're talking about. Life happens, I got blocked in this morning. There was nothing I could do.
No.
So there's no reason to be angry about it or to
No.
cry about it or anything. There was literally nothing I could do.
Yeah.
And it all works out in the end anyway.
Yeah, that's right. It's frustrating at the time, but there are those things that really do impact your life and how you do need to find new balance. You do need to find new ways of doing things. We're in a situation like that right now, with grandkids here. It's like, how are we adjusting to that situation? How are we going to fit in the workouts? Well, the wonderful thing is that, they've just gone, can we go work out now? So is these grandkids, that they just go, this is just normal. This is what they do in this house. So we're just going to do it with them. And when I go for a walk, oh yes, we'll come for the walk, or no, I don't feel like it. I'll just sit here and read my book. And that's okay too, just as long as, the other adult is in the house as well too.
Yeah.
So it is a matter of just saying to yourself, what are those things that are my priority? And look, Sal, I've jotted down the 5 things that I think everybody should have on their list. And we've already talked about these things, but I just want to go back over them again. It is to move more, anywhere, anytime. Yeah. Okay. So find those opportunities to park further away, take the stairs. The list goes on and on. There are always opportunities to move that little bit more. I'm just thinking about, when Paul was in hospital and he had to have the showers, there was definitely some movement in that, because it was like, can you shower me? I don't want the nurse to shower me, So I did have the opportunity to move a lot more. And it was like, yeah, okay, off had come the coats and everything like that, because I know I'm going to get drenched at the same time. I think that should be the number one thing. Move more, anywhere, anytime, and just keep that first and foremost. The second thing is, when it comes to healthy eating, just really prioritize that eating that protein. And with that, just making sure that you're getting enough water, because it can go by the wayside. So the protein and water, I think, are the 2 essential things. Yes, we need our veggies and we need healthy fats and everything like that. So if you have that opportunity, then have them, but always make the others, first and foremost.
Yeah.
Third one, strength training, but simplify your strength training. Bring it back to those foundational moves that we always talk about. We always talk about muscles for everyday life. And in fact, we have a guide that is muscles for everyday life. So if anybody wants that, all they have to do is reach out to you or I, and we can shoot that off to them as well too. So it's got some of those things we were talking about this morning: the squats, the deadlifts, the rows, the shoulder press, the chest press. We didn't talk about the chest press, but that's in there as well too. Yeah. 4th thing, Sal, is to embrace fresh air. And it doesn't matter if there's sunshine. It's better if there's sunshine, because sunshine always makes us happier automatically. But yeah, just embrace getting outdoors in some way, because that just changes our complete attitude to the day. And sometimes we just need that little bit of a lift. And in fact, I was feeling like that this morning. I'm thinking, what else is going to happen? And I walked outside to hang my towel on the line to dry. And I looked up and there was a massive rainbow. And it was like, there you go. There was a sign right there in front of me. So, yes, definitely. And then, the 5th and final thing is to just practice that self-care, whatever that looks like for you. One of the things that I know that I will tend to do is put in my earbuds. I will put something on my phone that relates to how I'm feeling. If I'm feeling anxious, then I'm listening to something that's going to help me feel less anxious. If I'm feeling sad, then I'm looking for something that's going to make me feel, a little bit happier. So the self-care, I think, is the other aspect of it. And just knowing that your life happens plan is specifically for you and what you feel comfortable with. But I think those top 5 items everybody should have on their list.
Yes.
And just making sure that you're not striving for perfection, that you know that this is about being fluid and adaptable and going with the flow. As you mentioned, there was no point getting upset with the situation this morning. You just had to chill out and just let it unfold. And that just keeps those stress levels, that little bit less as well too, because if that stress level goes up, it means the cortisol goes up, which means, we're going to be carrying more around our belly, and we're thinking to ourselves, oh, look, I'm eating less, but my belly feels a little bit bigger. And that's just simply because of those cortisol levels. So, is there anything, Sel, that you want to wrap up with?
No, I think we've covered everything.
Yeah, look, I just want to say this, that life does happen. It does throw us challenges. But remember this, for every low that we have, there is a high as well too. We'll never stay in the highs and we'll never stay in the lows. So we just have to be fluid and adaptable. Thanks for joining me today, Sel.
Thank you for having me as always.
You're very welcome. Thanks for joining us, ladies. And if you're after that guide that we mentioned today, please reach out to us and we'll send it off to you. Okay, so take care and we'll see you all soon. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.